Hey guys, I just wanted and I felt I needed to do a video on Matheus Cunha for you. In this video I'm going to cover off quite a few things because there's big fallout from last night's defeat to Chelsea. A lot of it surrounded Matheus Cunha. So in this video we're going to be talking about his current contract situation, the new contract, and also about the fallout from last night with his regard to his body language, the things that Vitor Pereira said, also reports from local journalists that said he went off straight down the tunnel without clapping the fans. I wasn't there last night, but we did have some members of our team that were there, and I did ask them to get me some footage, a few bits of footage. One of that footage was the end of the game. And so if you follow my train of thought with this, I'll sort of like lead you along of how I've come to be able to do this video for you. First of all, I think it's clear that Matheus didn't have a very good night last night. I think it's also clear that there's a lot of media speculation in the press, the national press, from other fans about Matheus's future at Wolves. Arsenal being a team that are obviously interested at the moment, and it was reported a couple of weeks ago, I think initially by Fabrizio Romano, that Matheus was very, very close to signing a contract extension, which would probably have a buyout clause put in there and a new contract, maybe a little bit more money for him and all that sort of jazz. But obviously a couple of weeks later that contract has still not been signed. So of course within the fan base and generally speaking, it's like he doesn't want to sign the contract, he's going to be sold in January. All of these worries are concerned. Fabrizio did a report, did another tweet the other day where he said there's still some finer details to be ironed out. Didn't say he wasn't going to do that, but that's not helping. But I'll come back to that at the end of this video. The other thing that came out from last night, obviously Wolves' terrible performance, really submissive, lacklustre performance. We saw them play for about 10 minutes. Matheus, by his own standards, I'm sure will admit he didn't have a very good game. There's been a lot of talk about his body language during the game, and there's also one of the local Express and Star journalists, Liam Keane, put a tweet out to say that he went straight down the tunnel after the game, whereas the rest went over to, show their appreciation to the travelling support. The Wolves fans travel on a Monday night to London, 8 o'clock kickoff, got to get back in the early hours to show appreciation for the fans for their efforts, even though they had a really bad night at the office. That tweet was responded to by Matheus Cunha, calling out Liam for being a liar, for misinformation, and your initial things on that, because like when I'm reading this, I'm thinking, is that real? Is that really real? So obviously we want to verify these things before we put things out. When we've looked into this and verified it, as you can see, it is his real Twitter account, because Wolves have actually tagged Matheus on one of their tweets, which is the same user handle. So it does appear that it actually is legitimate, the real Matheus Cunha. He doesn't put a lot out on Twitter, he's more on Instagram, but obviously he's responded to that. The tweet from Liam has obviously caused a lot of anger from the fan base, division, targeted at Matheus, and obviously that's not great. Now, in defence of Liam, he obviously wouldn't have been in the same end as the Wolves fans of a video that I'm going to show you in a minute, and he would obviously be over in the press. I'm going to clip out the sound because of copyright reasons, but it does show that Matheus was on the pitch for quite a while doing what he said in that tweet, and he does applaud the fans. So I'm just going to put that on for you right now. So hey guys, this is the clip that we've got for you. Thanks to Craig for sending it over to us, one of our team. Captured right at the end of the match. You can see that Matheus Cunha hasn't walked directly off the pitch, as we reported. He's in there at the moment, like he was saying, talking to Chelsea players, speaking to the referee, and then you can see he's walking off towards the centre circle there. Stops again, talks to one of the other players, and then starts to walk over towards where the Wolves fans were. The Wolves fans were based directly behind the goal and all along the right-hand side, which is the area that Matheus walks towards, clapping, as you can see there, then takes a step, stops, looks over to the rest of the fans, and then walks off towards the dressing room as Agbadou comes forward, and then the rest of the Wolves players are still talking, as you can see, and then start to break to come over to the Wolves fans. It does prove that Matheus Cunha did clap. So that clearly shows that Matheus is one of the first to go off the pitch without a shadow of a doubt. But he does do, as he said, he does in the response to Liam, that he did go and talk to the referee, the other players. He does come over briefly to clap the Wolves fans and then goes off. In the following press conference, Vitor Pereira is asked about this, as you can see in his responses there. Now, I've watched the video put out on Sky. Now, I can't confirm or verify the voice of the journalist, but having spoken to Liam, I think it actually is Liam that's asking these questions. Now, Vitor probably is answering the questions. He did talk honestly about talking to him in the dressing room. He talks on, about his head. When these sort of things and speculation, it does mess with people's heads and stuff like that. But it does seem that it's Liam that's, again, asking these questions and putting Vitor in this position, who's trying to answer honestly. Maybe Vitor hasn't seen what we've just seen and probably should have, need to maybe answer that in a wiser way, not actually got drawn into answering that question. But he, Vitor Pereira answers as honestly as he can. And for me, coming back on about Matheus Cunha's body language, one other thing that sprung to mind this morning when I was checking all this out, because I want to say a big thank you to Craig, who sent the video over to us, because when all this kicked off and I was looking into it this morning, I thought, I've got a video at the end of this, at the end of the game, I'll just have a look at that again. And then obviously I spot what me and the producer then look at that and think that is Matheus that's coming over. So he actually was spot on with what he's saying and did come over to the fans and then go down the dressing room. The other thing that I would like to point out, that in Vitor Pereira's press conference on Friday, and we had mentioned this in the build-up, that Matheus Cunha was a doubt for the game, because he did not train on Friday because, as Vitor said, he had flu. So he did start the game, so he was obviously recovering. But if you or I'm sure you've all had flu or a cold, it can stay in your body for like a couple of weeks. Your energy levels are a lot lower. So it kind of, to me, would explain why Matheus's body language wasn't quite all that. Maybe, it has something to do with all the transfer rumour and the speculation and all that. But like, if you're not feeling very well, you've just put in, 90 odd minutes at an elite level in a Premier League football match, you probably want to get down the dressing room and get off. I know I would, but he did still, as you say, talk to people, to players, to the ref, and come over and stop briefly to show a little bit of appreciation to the fans before he went down the dressing room. So a lot of things been thrown out of context, and it's caused a little bit of aggro. Obviously it's upset Matheus. As I say, Liam's put that tweet out there, and it's caused all of this. From his point of view and from his viewing angle, he may well have thought that that's what happened, and obviously I wouldn't have, want him to get a load of crap for it. He's made probably a mistake there, but he's a human being and people make mistakes. We all make mistakes, don't we? But this is my thoughts on Matheus Cunha. I do think the flu and the cold obviously has affected his body language and his energy levels. I do think it's been proven by that video that he did come over, albeit briefly, but he did come over to the fans. He was on the pitch for quite a while. He didn't run off and go down the pitch straight away like what was suggested. And the transfer, in regard to his transfer and all the rumours swirling about, and his new contract isn't helping. So I'm hoping Matheus gets that contract signed for the benefit of the club, the fans, and himself ASAP, to stop all this speculation and we can just get back on to the football. And of course the next match for Matheus to play against will be against Arsenal, and I'm sure that he's going to be on fire that game, and he's going to put in a great performance for us, and his energy levels will be back up a week later to you know, before he had his cold, so to speak. And I'm suffering from the after effects of the cold, so you know what I mean, you can probably tell in my voice. Anyway, that's my thought on, I'm sorry if I've rambled on a little bit on Matheus Cunha. Hope you appreciate us doing this video. I thought I needed to do it. And thank you again for Craig that sent us over the video as well. Leave your thoughts on all of this in the comment section. Hit that subscribe button for all your Wolves news. And we'll be seeing you on the live later as well. Cheers. Always Wolves.